And yet another game. I believe this is game 7. Once again, Maverick is UEF and FunkOff is Cyber. We have 4 wins for FunkOff, 2 for Maverick. I apologize if I missed some games. I know there's yet another one coming up after this one, but it looks like FunkOff is going with Cyber and Air, and this is probably already morning for Maverick. Maverick going second Air as well. So I haven't really seen too many very good games on this map. It's kind of frustrating. There is a lot of mass here. You want to get early. Great targets for raids. And now we got some engineers coming out. Looks like 4 pigeons planned. And a second land. Of course, the way this map looks is 2 pretty big hills. Choke point between them. Whoa. It's not good. So here it's also kind of a high ground, but you really want to fight over these 2 hills that have hydros. And here's first bomber coming out for Funk. He's going to be looking for any engineers in this area, and there is an engine coming in. Actually, that bomb misses, so Maverick catching a bit of a break. And on the second pass, it's a 1 kill, 2 bombs, 1 kill for FunkOff. There is a very aggressive McMarine here for Maverick, going straight to the Hydro, and that's a very good placement to wait for an engineer, and he is going to get a kill. See, actually McMarine's all over the place, and actually McMarine's getting taken out by a bomber, by FunkOff. Another expanding engineer not protected. So that's what happens when you go bomber first. You can't protect all your expanding engineers, and really we are seeing Maverick take advantage of that. This bomber is creating problems, but actually getting quite a few kills. Looks like it'll be 2-2 in terms of dead engineers, McMarines versus bomber. Now the bomber is killed by an aerial interceptor. Now we also see a jester. He's going to try to prevent these raids. Actually, amazingly, this engineer is still alive somehow, but now this jester will be killed by Maverick's interceptors. And this hydro problem is huge. Yeah, and I think we see very good micro there from Maverick, running circles around that mantis, but more mantis come in to clean up. Maverick working on his hydro. Now a bomber coming in for Maverick. This would be a great engineer to kill. Looks like he should be able to do it. He just scouted with some interceptors. And another great bomber for Maverick. Maverick playing extremely well on this one. On the top hill he's got 3 mask extractors. He's just 1 air. And he's killing off many engineers. And it looks like FunkOff calls it 3-3. I think he forgot about one of his wins. It's actually going to be 4-3. Unless I'm tripping, which is a possibility. FunkOff still working on this hydro. Still got some chances, but he still doesn't have this original hydro. Actually has Manti finishing it up, but the top completely belongs to Maverick. One thing to note, really not taking advantage of those rocks. Actually neither player taking those rocks. Now we might see the 2 ACUs meet each other. Maverick moving in, some units in support, then engineer. And a bit of a raid here up on top for FunkOff. You can get a lot of map back. Now Maverick just moving in directly on FunkOff's position. A bit of a nerve fight. FunkOff gets an advantage, but more interceptors coming in from Maverick. And great raiding by those Manti. Actually very even numbers up on this hill. Now we see 2 different groups from FunkOff, and if this engineer can finish that point defense, it'll be huge for Maverick. Maverick moving down, the 2 ACUs fighting each other. Maverick getting a pretty big advantage in terms of health. Maverick retreating, actually FunkOff pushing ahead with quite a few Manti, but still a big advantage for Maverick in terms of ACU health. That engineer is going to die. Wasn't able to finish the radar. A good situation for Maverick up on top. FunkOff with 5 kills takes over this mountain. And we see it's pretty even in terms of map control now. Maverick forced to retreat. We do see an engineer here for FunkOff. This might just get him back into the game. And another victory for FunkOff. So FunkOff really clawing his way back into the game, but we do see a very dangerous raid here from Maverick. Cause a lot of problems if we can take out that Hydra. You can see the base from Maverick still hasn't really gone Tech 2 yet. It's all Tech 1 plus 1 air factory. And here comes this raid from Maverick. He wants to kill this engineer before they get this Tech 2 PD. It looks like he's just targeting the Hydra. And ask for him to just roll through. But they don't even finish killing the Hydra. That's amazing. Maverick retreats in a situation where he should definitely not have retreated. This will be tragic for Maverick if this PD is actually finished and he's not able to kill that Hydra. So good things happening. Of course, this Tech 1 point defense is very important for Maverick. And Maverick retreating. And a fight here. It looks like FunkOff splits the forces. But at least one of the splits is going to be beat 4-3. And a raid now coming in for Maverick. FunkOff getting an upgrade. The Manta helping out the ACU. Maverick no upgrades yet. Another air factory and actually quite a bit of teching for Maverick. A lot of teching without taking all this mass that's right next to his ACU. More bombers now for Maverick. You really got to put a bomb on that Hydra. Would be the easiest. It's 100 power that FunkOff shouldn't have. But we can see the Manta taking using their numbers. FunkOff's got the gun, looking down on Maverick, and looks like he is going to go for an attack. A lot of units just sitting there at Maverick's base. He's got to move him up, protect his ACU, because now Maverick is going to find himself outgunned. 4-5 in terms of kills. This point defense still very solid, but a lot of those mass structures are not capped by Maverick. Now this engineer is trying to fix that problem. Now Maverick will be retreating. FunkOff is moving in on Maverick's Hydra position. And a nice air force now for FunkOff as well. Doesn't look like Maverick will be able to hold this part of his base. He's got to come up with something very quick. See the plan for Maverick. He is going Tech 2 land. He has a very good eco. If he just pump out some units, he should be able to defend, but he just lost the Hydra. It looks like he'll lose 3 more land factories. Although going Tech 2 land is probably not a huge loss. Still playing defense up on the hill, getting some of those mass extractors back. Actually quite a few wrecks as well. Interceptor fight. FunkOff wins. Maverick moving in on FunkOff's position. And a whole bunch of units actually moving. And actually there is a big numbers advantage now for Maverick. FunkOff really far away from his base. Maverick moving all his units in, except one raiding group which will get killed. And actually FunkOff, even though he has the gun, is going to find himself surrounded. There is a little lake. I'm not sure if he can actually hide in it. Maverick getting some more veterancy. FunkOff hitting the ACU instead of units. And now retreating in a straight line, getting hit by a whole bunch of UEF arty. FunkOff gets into the lake. And now the lake is going to be surrounded. Perhaps some reclamation of these would be good. It's a pretty interesting situation. See engineers moving in. They're going to try to get some torpedo launchers finished. That's a little ambitious. Actually, no, a whole bunch of engineers. We see FunkOff is going to try to reclaim them. So it's a question of who can reclaim faster. And now Maverick moves in, and now you can't reclaim the ACU. And this will be game over for FunkOff, unless he can get a rescue operation and go a whole bunch of Manta really far away, and they won't be able to do much. Now FunkOff gets out of the pond. Still surrounded by a whole bunch of tanks. You can see the situation from far above. FunkOff is trying to reclaim torpedo launches, walks through the pond. 24 kills. As soon as he gets out, gets a whole bunch of shots. And there goes FunkOff. After 16 minutes, it is now 4-3 in terms of FunkOff. Although I believe they think it's 3-3.